University Scranton Center for Ethics and Excellence in Public Service is proud to produce this series of interviews with the 2025 Scranton City Council candidates. All 6 candidates who made it onto the ballot were invited to participate, and 5 of them accepted our invitation. And today I'm joined by Sean McAndrew, who is running as a Democrat and won nominations by both the Democrats and Republicans. Welcome, Sean.
Thanks for having me.
The cost of living keeps going up, while many Scranton residents struggle with stagnant wages and/or limited job opportunities. Do you have a plan to attract new businesses, good-paying jobs, and/or help local businesses grow?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, we have to help maintain our businesses that are already here and help them want to stay here and also grow. Because if you see businesses that are thriving already in Scranton, that's going to attract more businesses to want to come to Scranton. We also need to have a thriving downtown, thriving neighborhoods also to attract new businesses. I believe, partnering with the county, partnering with the Chamber of Commerce to sit down at the table and find ways to attract and campaign for businesses to come here. It's a great city. We take care, we want to be business, like pro-business. So we got to show that first by helping maintain and grow our current businesses, but then work together with other groups to attract and campaign for them, for other businesses like Amazon and some manufacturing plants to come here, which will produce new jobs and probably higher paying jobs.
All right. Some Scranton residents seem to be far more concerned about crime than others. How concerned should residents be, and what would you recommend the city do to address crime?
Okay, I'm a data guy. You got to look at the numbers. So if you look at the Pennsylvania State Police numbers, there has been a growth in a lot of crime, especially murders and homicides. That's scary. I haven't seen those numbers ever since I've been here. So we need to address the issue. First, we need to, sit down and tell the public there is an issue right here. But then we need to work with the law enforcement. We need to make sure our police have the resources to make sure our communities are safe, but also that they're safe performing the jobs so they come home to their families at night, because them and all the first responders put their lives at stake every day. We need to work with the DA's office and the Pennsylvania State Police to see what is the root of the crime and why is it in Scranton? How do we get it out? A lot of it too is we do have a youth problem with gangs and crime. We need to work with the school district. We need to work with our nonprofits to have after-school activities and things to have these kids do something and keep them out of trouble. We have a program that we have right now. We worked with the state police, the DA's office, Brian Gallagher and Jimmy Simrel, where it's some kids who are getting in trouble in school. It's an MMA program where they work with police officers and state police, and they build bonds, and it's like a mentorship program. We have kids who don't want to leave the program; they want to stay there. So we've grown it through one middle school now to all 3 middle schools, and we want to focus now on doing arts and music as well. So it's programs like that and collaborating with the DA's office, the police office, just having everybody come to the table to first address that there is the issue and then, find a plan how to fix it.
Right. So Scranton has an aging housing market and arguably a shortage of affordable homes and apartments. What specific policies would you support to improve housing quality and affordability for young people, working families, and/or seniors?
Okay. Affordable homes is definitely, and apartments is definitely, a need. I believe at the Scranton Housing Authority, there's 50 open apartments right now. We need to first make sure how we fill those and make sure we reach out to people who could use those apartments to fill them. Also, how do we maintain them? How do we, do preventive maintenance on them? I mean, I've been talking to people who live in those apartments or went door to door, and some of they've been living there for 20 years and there's been no changes. So we need to upkeep them and make sure we're taking care of them. I believe also in Southside there's another low-income housing that's being built. But for the other part of it, for our seniors, I've been talking about this since the primary. I would like to do a 65 and older tax rebate. Other cities and school districts do it. A little bit goes a long way for those seniors on fixed incomes. Or for young families or young individuals who want to move into the city, the real estate transfer tax is higher here than other cities and boroughs around us. We need to reduce that. We need to make little changes that'll go a long way to attract people to come here, but also people who want to stay here, especially with inflation, everything going up with the seniors. And that's what I would do. I've already talked about in the primary, and that's what I plan to do as soon as I get on council.
All right. Property taxes have been rising faster than incomes for many residents. Can Scranton balance the city's budget without passing along an even greater financial burden onto residents? If so, how?
Yes, I mean, I've done that on the Scranton School Board. When I first got on the school board, we had the state, we're in financial recovery by the state. We had state officials and we had a state financial consultant come in and tell us you had to raise taxes and do all this stuff. We did not, I fought back on that. And there's many times my board members agreed with me not to raise taxes. I never voted to raise taxes because we were able to find money in the budget to cut wasteful spending or to make sure we're spending our money wisely. We get a lot of money from the state. It does increase now, luckily from the help from our senators and our state reps helping us secure more money, but it's making sure we're using that wisely. So I have a proven track record of doing that. So what I will do is go through the budget, sit with our business administrator, sit with the administration, sit with council, and come up with a budget where you look at wasteful spending. Is there a department that has money that we could cut some parts of it and move it somewhere else? Or our vendors, is there a way we can get things cheaper? Is there a way we can work with the school district and county to buy in bulk to make it cheaper? We do a little things with the school board now. Me being on school board, we work with the city on little things. We had a shared grant writer and stuff like that, but there's so much more we can do to help everybody.
All right. One of the most divisive issues in the country involves the presence of ICE agents and National Guard troops in American cities. If ICE or the National Guard arrives in Scranton, what should the city say and do? What should law enforcement say and do? And what should Scranton residents say and do?
Yeah, I mean, the nation is very divisive right now, and we need to bring the temperatures down. And we should, especially locally, we need to work together and take care of one another and look out for each other. I think this is such a national issue and a federal issue that it's hard for it's not really the platform for a city council member in their role and duty. But I do think there's ways that we could educate our residents and put resources out there. We did that in the school district. If you go on our website, you'll be able to see agencies that can help out or resources about it, because there's a lot of legal things too that we can and can't do. So educating it would be the biggest part. I checked the city's website. I don't see that anywhere right now. With this, the administration has not put that anywhere. So maybe just working with them to do that. But again, I'm focused on the local issues when I'm knocking on doors and people talking about their neighborhoods or the crime or the rising taxes. So I think that would be a little thing we can do in like a learning process.
Finally, are there any additional issues that are important to you, your campaign, or the city of Scranton that we have not already discussed? If so, please feel free to use your final 2 minutes to share your ideas, concerns, or proposal about those ideas.
Yeah, I mean, the neighborhoods, right? Everybody, we need strong neighbors. If you go downtown, the downtown is beautiful. These developers have come here and made it a welcoming, warm place. We need to start funneling more money and more attention to our neighborhoods to strengthen our neighborhoods, because a strong neighborhood makes a strong city. And I think that I've done that in the school board. We have neighborhood schools. We've taken these schools over like Robert Morris in Greenridge, or West Intermediate and West Side, and all the other schools we've done other upgrades to. But you want to maintain your buildings. You want to make it a safer place. When I first walked in the school district, there was no cameras, there was no phones, there was no PA system. It wasn't a safe environment to learn. And I focused on that, and we made changes there, and now it's a safe environment. We need to do the same thing for our neighborhoods. Our neighborhoods are hurting. I mean, just the other day with the streetscape program, that's a lot of money putting downtown to move lights for stop signs. I'm not saying it's not something to look into, but I just don't think it's where money should be going to right now. It needs to go in the neighbors, because if you have strong neighborhoods, you have strong school districts, you have strong community, and that is going to attract the businesses, and that's going to attract more people to want to come here, raise their family, and grow here. And that's what I want to do on City Council. I want to work with the community to make this a place where everybody wants to stay, everybody wants to come here, and I'd be humbly asked for your vote on November 4th, just to continue what I've demonstrated on the school board into the city.
Thank you, Sean. Again, Sean McAndrew is running for one of 3 open Scranton City Council seats. And please remember to vote on November 4th.